Death Star, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So here we are. We're 1 month away from Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're 1 month away from Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, we're definitely entering Star Wars season. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
We took a week off.
Absolutely.
Took a week off, spent time with family, you know, just kind of recharge.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. It's good sometimes.
Yes.
So, but we're back.
Yeah.
Thought you got rid of us.
Right, yeah.
Here we are.
Can't beat us away with a stick or anything. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Just like George was, right, man? I'm back.
Yep.
But yeah, Obi-Wan's coming up. Celebration's coming up. We're about to enter overdrive, man.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're gonna be hit with a lot of stuff coming our way pretty soon here. Usually how it goes.
You know, I gotta say, Celebration, they have announced the panel lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this.
And I gotta say, compared to past celebrations, I'm like, oh, it's a little light.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be.
You wouldn't think so, but I do
There
have a
has
feeling.
never been this much Star Wars on the horizon and this light of a celebration.
True, I guess.
I mean, there are a lot of, like, I'm looking at the panels, I'm like, man, there's a lot of ancillary panels making the main stages. So I'm like, ugh.
Right. Well, I'm thinking that that's because, you know, I hate to use this excuse for everything, you know, but, you know, it was probably pretty shaky leading up to Celebration, getting confirmations of people going to be there and things of that nature. You know, I just feel like, you know,
you say using that excuse, but I think that's kind of fair, really, when you think about it. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty.
right.
You know, we got a pandemic that just, it's gone, it's back, it's gone, it's back.
Right.
And I shouldn't say gone, because it's never been gone, but it's,
Well, restrictions.
it
have lightened
seems
up.
like it's relenting, and then it comes back.
Exactly. Yes. And you know, to be fair, California has been one of the more how shall we put it? You know, I guess I don't want to say restrictive, but I mean like
You can just say strict, right?
strict.
Like
Yeah.
they've been strict.
They've been doing more to quote unquote keep people safe, right? So
yeah, the most cautious.
yes, exactly. So that had to inhibit what they could do for Celebration to some degree, I would imagine. But
Yeah, I mean, and I say this not like bashing on the panels, because there's a lot of great panels here. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of really interesting panels, but at the same time, I just feel like with what's on the horizon, this seems light.
yeah,
I'm being critical, but in all fairness, it's still good.
yeah,
It's
of
definitely
course.
something worth going to. Like, I would want to be there, but like, if I were going to this one compared to the last two I went to, I'd be like, oh, really? That's it?
yeah. Yeah. Consider how spoiled we are. That's
Oh, I mean, the last two I went to, I was definitely spoiled. I'm not going to lie.
right.
And there's always surprises along the way, and some of these panels could be misleading.
Sure.
You know, some of these panels are a look back, but it may actually be a look forward as well. So
It's funny how
I should say a lot of them are look back, like especially the Mandel panels.
yeah.
they're all billed as a look back across everything they've done on The Mandalorian.
Right.
But there may be some looks forward that we're not even expecting. So
yeah, and even with a lot of the stuff where, God, there was one about what was it, having to do with Return of the Jedi, creatures or something.
Yeah, Creatures of Return. That sounds like a fun panel.
And but it's like, with we have stories coming at us from all different points in the Star Wars timeline now. It wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of this stuff fit into that. You know what I'm saying? To some degree, some way or another.
Well, let's just say this. The Disney parks have a bigger footprint than the High Republic.
Yeah.
So we're talking Star Wars Celebration, and essentially what's known for the future of Star Wars.
Yeah.
High Republic is one of the high ticket items that are the future of Star Wars right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the Disney parks have a bigger footprint at Celebration than the High Republic. That's a little concerning.
And that's one of those things that I think falls right in line with what we were talking about with, what they can pull together for Celebration, given how things have been hard to pull together. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, hey, things are super restrictive. Come to our hotel.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's that.
Hey,
As opposed to like, hey, you can stay in and read this book.
Oh, yeah. I got you. I got what you're saying. I think, well, that could also be a hate to sound this way, but it could be a corporate push to try and promote, come to the theme parks, because we're here. Yeah.
Like, hey, we've lost our ass for 3 years, so
exactly.
Yeah, I get it. But like I said, I look at it's Star Wars Celebration. I mean, how much can you talk about Galaxy's Edge and Galactic Star Cruiser? I think there's 3 total panels to talk about those.
Right.
And another one for like merchandise.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure in the long run we're going to end up with a lot of good stuff coming from this, though.
Oh, I'm sure. And like I said, I might be overly critical a little bit because it hasn't happened. And we all know how some of these panels work out. It's like, hey, you thought you were going in to see this, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're getting hit with something new.
Exactly.
So, but looking at this panel lineup, we made a comment about the move of Obi-Wan Kenobi's release date.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, they're probably going to do some red carpet thing because they need stuff to fill the celebration stages. Well, that's not on here.
Right.
That's not on here. So we may have been wrong, but I'm not ruling it out yet. Because there is this panel to open up Celebration on Thursday, the 26th.
Yep.
And it's the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. And it says Star Wars Celebration returns, launching with a must-see showcase that will kick the weekend's festivities into hyperdrive. Lucasfilm's current crop of live-action filmmakers will be joined by special guests to discuss the many Star Wars adventures coming soon, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian.
Nice.
So this is an 1.5-hour panel.
And they're going to fit all that in there?
I'm just saying, I'm looking at that and I'm like thinking about how they talk about these things at these panels. I'm like, they might have 45 minutes set aside for an episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, could happen. Yeah.
And not only that, but the next panel on this stage does not happen until 1:30. So even if they go the full hour and a half with this other stuff, they still have an hour block of freedom in that stage.
Right.
So I understand they don't pack these stages back to back to back ever, especially the celebration stage. Celebration stage typically has long breaks, but I would not be surprised that with this Thursday panel and this kickoff event, that there is a screening of the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
And being the day before the actual release, that would be amazing for all attending.
Yeah, it would. And, from a corporate standpoint, they're probably figuring one day early, no harm, no foul, right? Yeah, that'd be good.
And they put Obi-Wan Kenobi as the first of the shows to be mentioned. They didn't go alphabetical, nothing like that.
Right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and The Mandalorian.
I think they understand that, Obi-Wan is the most anticipating show they've got coming right now.
Oh, that's for sure. I'm just splitting hairs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know that's weird for us to do.
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, literally everything we talk about.
Yes.
So, another interesting panel. Tales of the Jedi.
Yes.
Now, when I first saw this title, I was like, oh, crap. What are they doing with this name? And then I read it.
Right.
Introducing Tales of the Jedi, animated anthology shorts. And this panel is hosted by Amy Ratcliffe with special guest Dave Filoni.
Nice.
Yeah, at first I was like, really? What are they doing? And then I read it. I was like, son of a bitch, they're going to do it.
I could say that my true hope in this is that this has been one of Dave Filoni's backburnered one day I'll get to this type of things.
Yeah, pet project kind of deal.
Pet project, yes, exactly. Like his adaptation of the old Dark Horse Tales of the Jedi comics or something like that. Well,
it's such a popular set, right?
I gotta be honest, I don't even know how popular it is. All I know is that those were some good stories.
Well, let's put it this way. For people who read Star Wars comics, this is a popular set.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. I just, God, I don't know. It felt like, this was, I don't know. It was the beginning of the Jedi, right? I mean, with some of them. So it's good stuff.
Well, and it's
involved.
It's a story where they can do some things that give you those nice nods that make you feel like, oh man, that's nostalgia.
Right.
That feels good. But they can play with it too.
Exactly. That's what they've been doing that, right? Every now and then, Filoni's great for this. He'll cherry pick something out of the Legends EU and drop it into the new canon, and so far it's been working really well.
Yeah, you can play with it, right? You can give that nostalgia, Darth Bane, and then you can play with it with Moraband.
Right? Yes. Wow. Yeah.
Hey man, I got my things.
I know. What I would like to see is
detours.
No. Boy, you're just gonna put it all out there.
I'm just going
again.
All in.
Yeah.
All in. Here we go.
No, I'd like to see some of those old stories. Maybe a short on Noe Sunrider, or Yul Keldroma. Those stories are ones that really they really spoke to me as I was reading those old comics,
Right.
if there was a animated short about those, I'd be like all in, glued to it. So, and I think they know they have a lot of people who feel the same, decent sized audience for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a ton to fit in there. They could do Naga Sadao, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
And Naga Sadao goes like even further, right? Like than just Tales of the Jedi is what I'm saying.
Right. I don't know. A lot of good stuff. I'm blanking on a name, but there's a lot of stuff there if they go back to those stories that would loosely connect and tie into all of the more modern stories, we'll say,
Well,
and
just as an example, right? Like you talking about like how Tales of the Jedi, like those stories hit,
yeah,
and how they always like hit you right in the feels, right? Like,
right.
Plagueis, one of our favorite novels to bring up,
Yep,
did this because there was a portion where Plagueis was talking to was it Plagueis? I think it was Plagueis talking to Palpatine. And he said to him, I could bore you for days with stories of Freedon Nod or Exar Kun.
yes.
Those are two characters.
Yes.
From Tales of the Jedi.
Yes, they are.
And like it's just name drops.
Exactly. But hearing those names brings back all those And
this is even something they can execute well in a new Tales of the Jedi, right?
Absolutely.
They could just name drop in some cases.
Right.
And make people happy. Because if you execute, the name drops enough. And Plagueis was a good example of that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you don't have to understand how Plagueis got all of the dark side abilities that he got, and he's working on how to create life and all that kind of stuff. When they name drop like that, Exar Kun, whatever, it's he went back there, and that's all you need to know. That's totally.
But yeah, I mean, he's name dropping these rich stories of these Jedi that fell.
Right.
And I think that was the most interesting thing about Tales of the Jedi, right? Is it wasn't all happy.
No.
And they come out the other side like, yay, we're Jedi. No, some of them fell.
Right.
Went to the dark side. Like, they were tragic.
It is the beauty part of those stories is that, 5,000 years before, 25,000 years before, Luke Skywalker, there was these people with these abilities and they were trying to figure it out. That kind of thing, Yeah. It is like, those make for good stories for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And like I said, the second I saw, Dave Filoni. Yeah, we're seeing some of this.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing some of this.
I think so
how
too.
it's weaved in, that's the mystery. Because Dave never comes out and just does it.
Right.
It's not just what you got before.
Right.
It is a new era. Like Thrawn's not the same character.
No.
Thrawn's not the same character we got before. He's different, but man, he echoes that so well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, this is exciting. That's an exciting panel. And that's one, like, in all honesty, of all the panels that I've seen, I'm kind of like, I really wish I was going to be there for that one.
Right. It's definitely an interesting we don't get a whole lot of info, from this description, but knowing that Dave's going to be there and the title of the thing, I got a feeling it's going to mash up into something quite interesting.
And they put that title shorts on there. That scares me a little too.
Yeah, but my other thought, the other side of the coin on this is that, a lot of these were from comics. If they're digging into that stuff, then, think about a comic book, it's a 15-minute read, it's not
understood, but a comic book, even though it's a 15-minute read, it tells a longer story than.
That's true, but a lot of these Tales of the Jedi stories were like 6 issues. They weren't very long.
Right, they're 6 issues, but just the visuals alone tell more story than the dialogue.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Like when you read a comic book, there's more there than meets the eye.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, for
and
sure.
Sometimes, like, I never read a comic book once because you're going to miss something just by the first time you go through. You're focused on those text panels, right? The dialogue,
right? Yeah.
So you miss the hidden stuff in the artwork. And I shouldn't say hidden. It's hidden because you're focused on the dialogue.
Right.
So comics, they get a bad rap for like, oh, it's like 20 pages of nothing. No, you got to look.
Yeah, that's true.
It's visual art.
It's all of it. It's written story and visual art. It's everything, all of that put together.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the focus.
Yeah.
The focus is on your visual art. You really get the story by looking at the panels.
Yeah, totally. I just hope that's where they're pulling from. I hope, please don't let it be that they've taken this title and
made it something else.
It's doing something completely different.
So just say it the right way. Please don't let it suck.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Please don't let it suck. Now, with Dave involved, I highly doubt it's going to suck. It would just be disappointing to have something take on this title and be something completely different.
Right. Yeah, no offense to the sequel trilogy fans out there, though, but if we get Tales of the Jedi and the first one's Rey, I'm going to be like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like how many Luke Skywalker Tales of the Jedi issues were there? Just asking.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this has got to pull from, even if they're completely different stories, pull the characters, it's what needs to happen.
Well, the point of Tales of the Jedi was the Jedi were legend, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
So you got these tales, you got these legendary tales.
These are the stories passed down from generation to generation.
Right. They were not the stories of Luke Skywalker.
Right.
They were not the stories of Obi-Wan Kenobi. They were stories of characters you had never heard of.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah. Hopefully they're not just messing with it. All right, so Andor.
Yes.
So Andor. So who was this? This was the director of photography. So it's Adriano Goldman.
Okay.
So they confirmed that the show is going to be 3 seasons as opposed to the 5 that was originally planned.
Interesting.
Now, I missed the fact that there was 5 planned.
Yeah, so did I, honestly.
I remember losing our mind about there being a season 2 because Alan Tudyk said he's not in season 1.
That much we did know, yes. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I almost feel like 5 might have been a little much. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Don't get me wrong. I always want more Star Wars, but you know, this guy, Andor, Cassian, you know, he's got an expiration date, you know.
Well, that's true.
I mean,
that's true. But at the same time, well, he definitely has an expiration date based on the fact that you're using the guy, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't have someone else cast where he's younger.
I'm just talking about Rogue One. I mean,
right, that's what I'm saying.
But,
like, you're using the guy who was in Rogue One.
If you're gonna go 5 seasons, I mean, how far out in front of Rogue One are you gonna go? You know, that's what I'm looking at. Yes, there's got to be a lot of stories to tell, but dang, I don't know.
I mean, I definitely got the impression this guy's seen some stuff.
For sure, but I'm thinking 3 seasons feels about right to me.
It's probably going to be appropriate. I'm not going to argue that point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not going to argue against more Star Wars.
Right. Well, there's always that.
And with how much I love Rogue One and continue to increase my love of Rogue One, I swear to God, every time I watch this film, I love it more.
Absolutely.
I love these characters more. So Andor is like super exciting.
You know, I gotta say, I got a feeling this show is gonna be kind of like the sleeper that no one's really expecting to hit the way it's gonna hit.
I'm with you.
We just don't hear that much about it right now. I mean, Obi-Wan's the big thing coming up, but I got a feeling this thing's gonna hit pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Obi-Wan show, like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. But I feel like there's so much about it that's predictable.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
We know the before, we know the after. The thing is with Andor, we don't know the before.
Exactly. That's a clean slate.
It's a clean slate. Like, there is so much there they can play with and do things with. I mean, and to get that character to where we got in Rogue One, I just feel like that's going to be fun.
What did he say? He's been in this since he was 6 years old or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Right. That's what you got to go on. I mean, that's the line, right? I mean, yeah.
Like, this guy was ready to smoke a scientist.
Yeah.
Like, just saying. How'd he get there?
Yeah, and not only that, you know, we see he doesn't actually go through with that one. But at the beginning of the movie, you know, his contact, he takes him out because he can't, like, climb his way out of the, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Dude
like,
can't climb.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is a super interesting series to me, and not one I would argue if we were going to get 5 seasons. Right. I think you're right. 3 is probably the sweet spot, but I wouldn't complain.
I would never complain. I just got, you know, I think they, excuse me. I think they looked at what they had for ideas and story and how it all fit in leading up to Rogue One, and that's probably what they came up with. You know, 3 is the magic number.
Could be. It could be. But like I said, this is an open open template, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
Like I said, Kenobi, you got a before, you got an after. You got things you're restricted.
Yes.
You're restricted. Now, it's a story I want to see.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm never going to say, I don't want to see more Obi-Wan Kenobi. What are you kidding me?
So, real quick, I'm gonna detour us here for a sec.
Oh, you're going to trigger me like that?
No, that isn't what I meant. I'm gonna sidetrack us here a little bit.
Okay, better.
I did see this one quick story that talks about how Obi-Wan Kenobi series changes the meaning behind a classic Star Wars line. Right? So the line they're talking about is Vader in episode 4 when he says, "I sense something, a presence I've not felt since," right? So
we talked about this.
We've talked about this.
But everyone else is catching up.
I know. So let's see, who is this real quick? EW, Entertainment Weekly, asks Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor about this line specifically, and how they put it here. It would seem the last time Vader felt that presence is no longer Mustafar. So they brought that up to the actors there. Hayden responds with a maybe. This might mean something different now. And McGregor says, maybe. It's fun. It's very clear how all these threads are created. It's like working backwards and forwards at the same time for the writers and for Deborah. So,
but at the same time, can I interrupt here?
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, like he's going to forget Mustafar. Like he says it like he's kind of thinking like, I haven't felt it since, when was that?
But
like, you feel like if it was since Mustafar, he'd be like, oh, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like there wouldn't be a guess in there. Like
right.
It had to be something else.
Yes, but Mustafar, I mean, all of those lines, they fit.
He lives on the damn planet.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is all of those lines fit the way everything is without us seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi. But they're gonna fit after we see Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. That's the whole point here.
Oh,
it's just gonna be something different than what we thought originally, which isn't bad,
I'll say this: like I didn't think originally that he was like, oh, since I haven't felt since Mustafar. Definitely wasn't the first thing that popped in my mind,
right?
Because you don't feel like Vader's going to forget what happened on Mustafar. Like I said, he lives there. There's this constant reminder of Mustafar making him. And it made him for a reason.
Right.
He's not going to forget Obi-Wan Kenobi who, chopped him down on Mustafar. I feel like there had to have been something else.
Yeah.
I never felt like Mustafar was the last time he felt Obi-Wan's presence. That's not saying that he met Obi-Wan again.
Okay.
That's not saying they ever came face to face.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, how far away can they feel presence, right?
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he never.
See, that's the beauty part of that line, how it abruptly stops mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And Vader walks off. It leaves us to figure that out on our own. And it could be different for every single one of us watching.
Right.
And I got a feeling it's going to get solidified now, okay? But
Well, maybe because it's still open ended.
Going on,
because like in reality, it's like it's a presence I have felt since February.
February, right?
Yeah, it was February.
EW goes on talking to Deborah Chow now. Thinking about the way those gap fillers would change the already established story, right? And she says it was definitely something we were mindful of. And for me, also taking on George Lucas's legacy is an honor to take these characters and be able to tell a new story with them. So I wanted to be very respectful to what exists and not change anything that George intended originally or anything like that. So, that I like that. I have a feeling that some people are going to feel like, when this comes out, it ruins this or that or what. I don't think it's gonna, but I like the idea that they're paying very close attention to these things,
Okay. So now that you're mentioning that, it brings another thing to mind.
What's that?
Okay. How long are we talking here before A New Hope? Have they kind of laid that down?
Yeah, it's like halfway point.
Halfway point.
Yeah, like 10 years.
So I guess halfway point works out. Because I think of Rebels, right?
Right.
And Vader and Ahsoka.
Yes.
And their feeling of each other's presence, and Vader's immediate response to the apprentice lives.
Yes.
So he nailed what presence he was feeling.
Oh yeah.
So this Obi-Wan connection has to be far enough out to where he may, I felt this presence before, but I'm not quite sure where I pinpoint it. So halfway makes sense. That gives you enough time for that to kind of fade. He may think this guy's dead.
Right.
And I think that's the ultimate thing that's got to come out of this. You got to think Obi-Wan's dead for a moment.
Oh, yeah, I got what you're saying.
Because you need to feel it, because Vader needs to feel it.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I can see that. For sure.
I think that's the only way that this gets put out of Vader's mind, that may be the presence he's feeling.
That's interesting.
And you should not have come back. Maybe you should not have come back from the dead, bro.
Could be. Interesting. I like this. This is good. Yeah.
Because he nailed Ahsoka right away. Like, the apprentice lives.
Yes. Yeah, and she felt it at the same time, right?
But she denied it.
Yeah, she didn't want to believe it, but yes. Huh.
And she even tried to trick him, remember? That was a later story with season 7 of the Clone Wars, with the way her and Rex laid everything out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So he thought she was dead.
Yeah.
But not enough time had passed. He felt that presence. He knew that presence. And to think Ahsoka and Anakin were closer than Obi-Wan and Anakin, it's probably pretty level ground there.
I'm liking what you're saying, because if Vader's got to believe that Obi-Wan bit the dust, it's quite possible that Obi-Wan ends up going through something that almost kills him, that he is just barely able to come back from.
I wouldn't be surprised. It at least looks like it killed him.
Right. Yeah, but does something to affect Vader's ability to sense him in the Force too.
Definitely a way of closing himself off.
Right.
Like Yoda so obviously did.
Right. And that had a lot to do with Dagobah.
Right.
Convinced of.
Planet so strong in the Force because of all the life.
Yes.
Yeah. But Obi-Wan would have had to find other means because he was living on a planet that was so devoid of life.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he would stand out like a beacon on that planet.
Even though the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian will have you believe otherwise, because, man, you just, like, walk across the sand and shit pops out.
That's right. Yeah. It's funny how everything lives under the sand.
Yeah, exactly. And big.
Yes. Giant. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think we're gonna maybe not walk away thinking Obi-Wan's dead.
Right. But
Well, we obviously know he's not, but
right. But I got a feeling that,
but if you're someone catching this in the middle, you may walk away going, "Oh wow."
yeah, and we are gonna understand, I'm sure, why Vader could walk away thinking Obi-Wan's done now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it explains a lot. Like, a president I haven't felt since.
Right.
Like, wait a second.
That hesitation in that sentence is, it could be him thinking, damn, I thought I killed this guy.
Yeah. What the hell?
Exactly.
Like, nah, it can't be him. I don't fail.
Right.
I choke people for failing.
Right.
I'd have to choke myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like, if they have an encounter, Vader walks away thinking he's successful.
Right.
And Obi-Wan either, like, rolls out the other side with a way to conceal himself, or he's near death.
Right. I think the irony there, and you know, filmmakers love doing this kind of stuff, is if Vader walks away from Obi-Wan in a similar fashion that Obi-Wan walked away from Vader on Mustafar, man, you should have learned from that lesson, you know?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan thought you were dead, but...
You gotta kill it till it's dead, dude.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, that I didn't even think of that. Like, they do love that kind of irony.
They do. Yep. Interesting. Now I'm getting more excited for this show.
Oh, it's gonna be great. All right, so since we're talking about Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about Hayden. Not only are we talking about Obi-Wan, we were talking about Vader. We gotta talk about Hayden.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be Vader,
That's right.
which is all by itself exciting.
Yes.
So, I think it was EW. So yeah, more EW. Talking with EW, it was an interview with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Ewan McGregor talked about going back and watching the entire Skywalker saga.
Nice.
So he
Homework.
watched all 9 films just to get up to speed.
Heck yeah.
Well, Hayden went the extra mile.
Okay.
So he says, I went back and rewatched all the films. And I also got into the animated shows, the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Ooh.
He says, it was interesting. They did a lot with these characters in those shows. And they did further explore their relationship. There was interesting stuff there to learn about. It was great fun getting to go back and re-immerse yourself in this world that just continues to grow and become more and more vast. Now, I gotta say, for Hayden to go back and do this, that was pretty warranted.
Yeah.
Because Anakin's character and the Vader character, these are characters that benefit from watching these shows.
Absolutely.
Whereas Obi-Wan, he's still in between point A and point B, being the prequels and
Yeah. He even throughout the Clone Wars and stuff, he and Rebels, he doesn't
pretty
really
steadfast.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't deter from what we know Obi-Wan to be. You know, Anakin,
That's really the beauty of his character. He's the most steadfast character.
yeah, for sure.
Does he grow? Sure.
Yes.
But his overall view of what he's out to do, what's his mandate, like, it doesn't change.
Right. Anakin
Does
is
it
going.
sure? You know, his opinion of others is what changes. His viewpoint on others, right?
Right.
But his viewpoint on being a Jedi never really wavers.
No, exactly.
He's really the most steadfast in all of them. More so than Yoda, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Yoda is a deep thinker about the the Jedi, and I see Obi-Wan kind of like taking everything the Jedi stand for at face value.
Well, I mean,
Just
Obi-Wan
different.
always had a bit of skepticism to begin with, so his growth was predictable
Right.
because he had that Qui-Gon influence, and then his apprentice is the same way. Like,
Yeah.
his
same-
growth was to be expected.
His apprentice was the same way, but he turned it to 11.
Yeah.
But yes, Anakin Skywalker was even subtly at times dealing with this pull back and forth, between light and dark. Even in the animated shows, it could just be a look that Anakin has on his face in a certain scenario, and you know what's going on in that character at that time. There's turmoil. There's are we doing the right thing here, or I'm going to bend the Jedi rules here a little bit, that kind of thing. And I think, Hayden, in his position going into this character again, could only benefit from seeing all of that.
Well, yeah, especially when you look at stuff like the Mortis arc, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got a character here who literally sees his future
Yeah, totally.
and the terrible things that he could do, and is fearful of it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Vader's so deep now. Like,
I know. It's a tragic story the more you think about it, Anakin Skywalker is a tragic story. No other way around it. I mean,
and then you add in, like I said, to know what you could become, do everything you can to avoid it, but that's what makes you become what you feared. Yeah, that's as tragic as it gets.
exactly.
And to have, Sidious playing on him that way. And using those fears
Oh, yeah.
to make him try to avoid it, and it's like you just played right into his hands.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you don't get more tragic than Vader.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
So,
makes
yeah,
it so
that's-
good.
That's good. This is gonna be fun.
Yes, totally.
All right. I guess this still keeps with Obi-Wan. Wow. So Liam Neeson. I think he's speaking with Screen Rant. Or comicbook.com.
Okay.
So talking with comicbook.com. They pretty much asked him if he would ever want to reprise his role as Qui-Gon. So he says, "Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. If it was a film." He says, "Yeah, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV, I must admit. I just like the big screen,
Huh.
Yeah. He says, "Qui-Gon, I can't believe it's 24 years since we made The Phantom Menace. I just cannot believe where the time has gone. It was a experience shooting that film in London. So, film.
Interesting.
He draws the line. It's got to be on the big screen.
So he's too good for a limited series on Disney Plus.
He's just not too good for TV.
Huh. I know. I got a feeling. What he means is no on-screen appearances.
Yes, I mean, because he's not too good for TV, because he voiced Qui-Gon in the Clone Wars.
Right. Yes, exactly. Precedent has been set. Yeah. He could probably do that again, huh?
He's like, I'll do it. I ain't going to show up. I'll do it at home.
Exactly. I can record this in my home studio. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's this beautiful thing about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan Kenobi. He don't actually have to be there.
Right.
Just has to talk.
Yeah. I bet you that's what happened.
Hell, they could trick him, right? Like,
trick him how?
Yeah, he just has to record. He could think he's doing something for the big screen, but it's just for TV.
Right. Oh.
He's not going to get to set and go, oh, this is a TV set.
Yeah, I don't... Are you kidding me? These sets you probably wouldn't know anyway.
I know, right?
But
they could trick anyone with Star Wars nowadays, because like you show up to the set, it's like, wow, you built all this?
Yeah, I know. There's that. I think he differentiates between television and the big screen.
Let's
on-screen appearance.
Let's make another distinction here.
Okay.
Is streaming really TV?
Well, of course. It is now.
Or is it just big screen broken up into 6 episodes?
Yeah, but it's not playing in the theaters.
It's not. But is this a middle ground? Is he talking about one extreme to the other, and he's not saying, yeah, I wouldn't do streaming?
I honestly, I think he's talking about on-screen appearances. I mean, if it's a little voiceover work, yeah, just email me the page and I'll read it. Yeah, that's that's what I imagine him sounding like, and the funds made it into his account. He's all good with that. He could do that on a Saturday.
Yeah, I ain't getting all dressed up for TV.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I just think that's where he's crossing the line or drawing the line. Is if he's going to grow his hair out and get suited up. It's going to have to be for something big.
Okay.
That's what I think. So do I think we'll hear him in Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too. Even if it's just for a minute.
Right.
We are going to hear Liam Neeson's voice.
Yeah.
He can try to deflect all he wants. I don't do TV.
Yeah, exactly.
You're full of shit, dude. We've seen it.
That is true.
So, all right. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Still pretty much confirmed.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So, hey, I guess we get to stick with Obi-Wan.
Lots of it.
Lots of it. For the next 2 topics.
Oh, okay.
So, Deborah Chow. I think you have the details on this one.
Right. There's not much to it, but she basically reinforced some stuff that we heard from Rupert Friend, and she says Obi-Wan's going on a journey. There's going to be
what?
Yeah. there's going to be different people that come into his life. One of the things I was trying to do with this series was to have the legacy and who is important in Obi-Wan's life, and also to have some new characters. So it's going to be a mixture of the two. But I do think there are some surprises to come, I hope.
So this just in, Jimmy Smits makes an appearance in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. I mean, that's it's kind of going right along with a lot of what we've been figuring. So, like I said, not a lot to this, but you know, her being like the person in charge of this show just kind of like puts the stamp on, you know, what we've been hearing, like those comments by Rupert Friend and stuff, where, you know, yeah, you're gonna see some faces, you know, then, you know, there'll be some new ones.
Right on. All right. So the score.
What, like shoots and scores?
No, like the music.
Oh, right.
So there's been a lot of talk on who's doing the score. Speculation on who it could be. We know John Williams is doing the main theme.
Right.
Apparently some people thought he was doing the whole thing.
Yeah. There was some talk like that.
I even saw articles. So who we're talking about now is Natalie Holt.
Right.
And I've even seen articles, Natalie Holt replaces John Williams. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know, because John Williams has done all the TV stuff. Like,
yeah. No, that didn't actually go down like that.
no, not at all. Not at all. But like, you've seen them, right?
Huh?
Have you seen these same articles?
Oh, I've seen some of them. Yeah, here and there. Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean replaces John Williams to score Obi-Wan Kenobi? I was like, he's still doing the main theme.
Right.
Which is all he wanted to do, apparently, from the beginning.
Well, okay. This is something that Natalie Holt puts into perspective for us here. Because she's asked, okay, how did you and Williams come to work in tandem? She says, Obi-Wan is a legacy character that John hadn't written a theme for because he died quite early on in A New Hope. It's the only legacy character that he hadn't done. So he spoke to Kathleen Kennedy and said, I just want to write Benny a theme. So, yeah, I know. I like that too.
It sounds like John Williams.
Yep. So who can deny him that? And he did. He wrote the Obi theme, and it just embodies the spirit of the show entirely. So there we have it. I mean, this is something that John Williams wanted to do. So he got to do it. I mean, you know, it's not like he was slated to do the whole thing and decided, no.
Right.
Nothing like that. Or they wanted to bring somebody else in instead of him. No, it's nothing like that. It's, you know, it's his his long tenure with the Star Wars franchise that got him this.
I think this should be rewritten.
What?
Like John Williams said, look, I wrote a theme for Obi-Wan Kenobi once, and you changed the name of it.
Oh. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. You decided you wanted to call it the Force theme.
Well, I think all that happened back in the George days. That was
Oh, I know. I'm just.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think there was some folks that kind of jumped to the conclusion that he was going to be doing this whole thing. And, you know, I might have been one of them. I might have said something like, you know, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is big enough to bring somebody like Williams in, but, you know, that was speculation, you know. For as long as he's been involved with Lucasfilm, that's afforded him the ability to come in and be able to do this, to where I want to do this one part, but not the whole thing, right? So,
right. I like commenting on headlines.
Oh, sure.
How they do headlines, which means they're full of it.
Right. Yes, that happens a lot. So Natalie Holt, she, reading through this little interview here, I have to say, there was one thing that bugged me just a little bit. I gotta try and find it here now. There we go. So they ask basically, what is your writing and recording process? After checking out the film, and not the film, but the film footage. She says, I tried to come up with themes that I feel are catchy. And I was like, what? Because that concerned me right away. But reading on, she goes on to say, I had some time to just interrogate what the theme should be for each of the characters, and then bring them to life and put them to picture. And then getting to record here in LA on Fox's Newman scoring stage with the most talented musicians in town, it's just been a dream. I'm working with the same orchestra that John Williams uses as well. All of his key players were playing for me. Okay. So that brought it back a little bit for me. Okay. I had some time to just interrogate with
I feel like that's not necessarily in that order.
What do you mean?
Like, she wants something that's catchy, but she's not writing necessarily in that order. Like, catchy first.
Okay.
Then, okay, how's this fit the character? No, she's fleshing out the characters first, and then catchy it's in her thought process.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
And I'm going to chalk this up as that sort of a statement. It's like something that I'm not going to say came out wrong or wasn't what she meant to say or anything, because I would never dream of trying to get into her head to figure that out, but came across to me a little that way. You know what I'm saying? Because when I think of Star Wars music, I think timeless. I don't think,
right,
hey, it's a catchy tune, it's got a beat, you can dance to it. No, nothing like that. It's it's something that invokes an emotion in you as a viewer that
it's got to help tell the story.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the music helps tell the story more than most people realize.
Right. So I do believe she understands this, and I'm going to chalk this up to me being a little sensitive about the word catchy. So,
well, like I said, I think it is a not necessarily in that order thing.
Right.
She said catchy right off the get, which is concerning. If that's the first thing that comes to mind, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
But when she elaborates, it's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you're just speaking out of order.
Yeah.
You're fleshing out these characters, but you also want it to be catchy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm sure John Williams felt the same way, mainly because he wrote so many damn catchy tunes.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't know if catchy is the way I'd put any of that stuff, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Because if you hear Jaws, if you hear Superman,
Yeah, true.
You hear Indiana Jones,
I get it.
Like, I'm sure it was there. Like, he wanted a catchy riff, but at the same time, it's obvious that fleshing out what was going on was most important.
Yes.
Catchy came along with it. I don't believe for 1 second John Williams never thought, how do I make this catchy? I don't believe that. I don't believe that was like never in his mind, and all this stuff just ended up being catchy by accident. Bull.
No, I mean, he's a master of his craft. He understands what works. I'm just.
But it was finding all the elements.
Using a word like catchy invokes thoughts of,
poppy,
latest pop star, kind of thing with me, and that's. Clearly not what we're going for with Star Wars, but that's basically it, and I'm sure
lasting might have been a better word,
sure. Yes.
But you're doing an interview,
yeah.
At the same time, so she scored Loki, if I'm remembering correctly,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
Not a bad score.
Right.
Not bad at all.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have any hang-ups with her abilities. I'm like I said, I was concerned when I heard the word catchy because it invoked thoughts of pop stars and stuff, and that I know that's my own leap.
And you're just kind of worried that one day she might hate the fact that she wrote cherry pie.
Yeah, exactly. Warrant.
Hey, they hate that song. Just
saying. I know.
So, yeah, I think deep down she wants a little more Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Oh God, yes, exactly.
Catchy but natural.
Yeah. So for all those who have no idea what we're talking about, sorry.
Yeah, we're old. Sorry.
Exactly. That's what it boils down to.
It's just about rock bands that end up being forced to write catchy tunes.
Exactly. That's kind of, yeah. And it's things like that popped into my head, that kind of thing, that vibe. And
in all honesty, I think that example right there, Warrant is a good example. That's a band that absolutely hates their most popular song.
Right.
And they were forced to write it.
Yes. Exactly. In the end,
so
I think it'll be all right.
I don't say that's the way it's happening. I just that's the term catchy, it invokes that kind of feeling.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. All right. Well, so a little while ago, I was perusing through one of the podcaster groups that I'm a part of, and I caught wind of a little project. And I reached out to the person in charge of the project. Her name's Valerie. She's put together several projects similar to this in the past. It's a kind of audiobook.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But she was putting together this audiobook podcast and reaching out for other podcasters to come in and voice parts in it. And I was like, ooh, that sounds fun. Although, for me, kind of terrifying at the same time because I've never done anything like that, right?
No, but you get on here and talk every week, Joe.
I do. And it was weird to, reach out and say, yeah, I'll do it. And then get the lines and be like, oh, how do I do this? Just talk, dummy.
Yeah. Makes you realize it's harder than we realize when you listen,
it's
right?
Harder than you realize. To just talk and be like, oh yeah, this is natural.
Right.
It's easier when I'm talking to you, Doug. Like,
I'm glad I make you feel that way.
oh, you got that, like, talk to a guy, he talks back, you know?
Right.
Conversation.
Yeah.
You're just doing this on your own. It's like, oh, this is weird. But yeah, anyway, this project's called Project DF. It's it's like a mystery story. It's way more fun than I thought it'd be. Like, when I was, like, initially looking at it, I was like, wow, I'm reading this character. I'm like, I don't know where this is going. Got to listening to the book. I don't want to go into the book because I don't want to spoil anything. But right after we sign off here, we're going to play a promo clip from Valerie, who runs the project, and give you a little sneak peek. But if you want to check it out and check out all the podcasters that took part in this, there's podcasters from everywhere. You can head over to projectdf.com and just have a look, catch up on the latest episode, see all the different podcasters, look at what they're doing. It's really cool. So
It is.
I encourage everyone to check it out.
Yeah, it is cool. I have checked it out, and I dig it.
All right. So, yeah, right after we sign off here, we'll play that clip. But if you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, @thewarsandmore on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore, @thewarsandmore on Instagram. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.
Hey everyone, it's Valerie here. I'm the narrator, director, and producer of a new podcast series called Project DF. It's a mystery. It's a true story. Set in the 1940s. It's about a family home in Indiana where strange things occurred. Think being strangled. Think of bricks flying through windows. Think of a girl with a pageboy haircut being purchased at a fair. Episodes will be released weekly, if not more often. Project DF is a collection of voiceover artists from around the globe. Some of them you may even know, like your host here, Joe. He plays the voice of Henry Shook.
You got a point there, Richard. Good hickory switches are getting scarce around here.
Here's a preview for episode 1. My wife is an invalid. She looked very well when dressed. She had a slim, graceful figure and a thin, eager face, to which excitement lent a glow, which gave an illusion of beauty.
Miss Judith, you are going out?
I'm going to the theater.
The theater?
This from the widow of a Methodist bishop.
I'm going to see Macbeth.
Magnificent, isn't it?
He was referring naturally to the performance of Macbeth. She nodded.
My little friends didn't care for the witches.
Visit Project DF Podcast wherever you download your podcast, like Wars and More. Also, follow us on Instagram at Project DF Podcast. Thanks for listening.